Join the legendary Force MDs in the morning, along with Dr. Pebbly Pooh, the first female hip-hop soloist, in the mornings on the Force MDs Morning Show, featuring Dr. Pebbly Pooh, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, live on Facebook or on Uni TV and radio on the Force MDs page.
Hold on a second here. Let me close this out right here. And here we go. Let me throw it in. Bam!
Alyson Williams.
How you doing there, sis?
I'm gonna tell you something. It's a little early in the morning for me to be doing all this, but that's okay. You know, when you do television and film, you have to keep your hours a certain way. So I'm doing
right.
This is television and film.
That's right. And we appreciate you giving us your time and our people that's been, following us for 4 years. You know what I mean? And
I appreciate. Hold on 1 second. Let me adjust this a little bit. There we go.
Take your time.
I appreciate being here. The reason I'm kind of off is I was in Costa Rica for the last week. A friend of mine got married, and I just got back late last night. So that was an international flight, then into Atlanta.
Oh man!
At house, and so I'm just basically sleepy. That's all. I've been.
Hey, Alyson, I gotta say that blonde hair looks good on you. It matches your whole skin tone. It matches your whole skin tone. I like it. Yeah.
I got a little sun in while I was down there in Costa Rica.
All right.
I got my bronze goddess on. So.
There you go. There you go.
Thank you.
Now, were you originally from the Bronx or Harlem? Harlem, man.
Say that again.
Are you originally from the Bronx or Harlem?
I'm from Harlem, but I went to school in the Bronx and spent a lot of time in the Bronx. Doing what I do.
Okay.
Damn it,
Bronx girl.
But I'm a Harlemite. I rep from 110th Street all the way up to the Polo Grounds.
Oh, okay.
Whoa.
You do the Polo Grounds in there, huh?
Oh, you got Big Kyle in the house?
Yeah, I had to throw Kyle in. I threw Kyle in there because when I said we was having Alyson Williams, he ran and went in the bathroom. We don't know why. We just like
no, I want to be around real singers. Man.
Yeah, hey, Steve. I said Alyson Williams. He ran went in the bathroom. He's just coming out the bathroom. I'll be damned.
Yeah, paper towels, not tissue, but it's okay.
Hey, Big, these are your friends. These are the people you hang out with.
Alyson.
Hello.
Sister Alyson, they bless you, sister. These are just guys, when we have to get on the ferry, we listen to them.
Thank you.
Hey, Alyson, let me just say something. I gotta say something. When me and Steve was talking about Curtis Blow, right? And I was talking to Curtis Blow, and I didn't know, maybe because I was eating the wrong. A lot of people was eating the plain barbecue chips. Some people eating the barbecue. I kind of missed out on something. But I didn't know you was on the basketball. That was you.
They're playing basketball. Basketball.
Yeah.
That whole arrangement is an entire Alyson Williams.
And Alyson, if I'm not mistaken, you sung Fat Boys, right?
And Fat Boys are back.
Yep.
And also, if I rule the world.
I'm blown away.
And how about this? AJ.
Oh my God.
Now, Alyson.
Oh,
we're going to go back.
You gotta believe.
Oh!
I'm a whole rap festival right there.
Oh man!
Now, Alyson, back in the day, you was in a group called The Fair. Am I correct?
Mm-hmm.
Now, who was in that group?
The Affair wasn't really a group. The Affair was an anonymous kind of studio kind of situation. That was Van Gibbs had put that together. I can't remember all the players, but it never really was a group. If they put out a song with my vocal on it, I think it was Please Don't Break My Heart.
Wow, but you was in a group with Melissa Morgan, is that correct?
Yeah, that was a real group. That was a group called High Fashion. We were part of a trilogy of groups that came out of Capitol under a producer named Fred Petrus. He had High Fashion. He had the BB&Q band, Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens band, and then he had a small little group called Change with a real unknown singer named Luther Vandross. So,
wow. Boom.
So it's Change, High Fashion.
Yo, listen, man. I'm still like, I'm still. You just like.
Oh,
I'm
man,
still going with what you just did with the.
What the hell?
I'm still like, I'm bugging out, man. Like, I think she says it better. What? Oh man, I'm blown away, man. How I didn't know you was on all them joints like that. These joints are like,
wow. Classic.
These are the songs when we only had the word rap. We didn't have hip hop in our vernacular. These laid the foundation. We were telling our stories, you know what I'm saying, and people were doing their thing, and they were doing it in a way that it was palatable to everybody, and you know it hadn't gotten to the point where we were just going to kill each other and rape each other and glorify that particular side of the life, which. That's out there in the world, but you have to make choices of what you want to put out there. And at that point, the choices we were making were, to talk about how we the fat boys, or you gotta believe, or we're playing basketball. These are the things that we do on a daily basis. And we took from that and made and created magic and created a platform to build upon. I'm proud to say that I was part of that platform. Before, we did have the Sugar Hill Gang, and what were the girls that Angie Stone Sequence. We had that, but all back in that day, there were few women doing things. You know what I'm saying? And so to feel like that's why I got my street creds as kind of like the original hook girl for a lot of real the seminal rap music.
And now, Alyson. Now, a lot of singers become famous being background singers for other singers at first. So can you name some of the groups that you sung background for before you came out of your shell?
Well, as a background singer, it started with the rap, you know what I'm saying? And then I had a girlfriend who's still singing with Shaka Khan, and she's also married to Will Downing, Audrey Wheeler. And Audrey and I had a little company called AW Square. It was Alyson Williams and Audrey Wheeler. And when they found out that they didn't have to waste money, because the rappers were bringing their little girlfriends from around the block, and they had promised them they was going to be stars, but they couldn't sing. They couldn't carry a note in a bag. So, so they get to the studio and they order a whole bunch of Chinese food and they smoke a joint, and then it was still joints back then. And then nothing would get done, but the budget would be gone. And me and Audrey would come in and we go in the booth and we look at the lyrics, we'd have a conference, and then we'd be done in an hour. And when they realized that's what music was supposed to be about, then we began to get hired a lot. So we did all of those things. Audrey and I did most of the things that we talked about, all the music. Audrey was a part of that as well. As myself, after I got the High Fashion gig, which was produced by Kashif, and the first single was called Feeling Lucky Lately, was written by Fonzie Thornton, which we all know is the right-hand guy to Luther. I'm taking this around a long way because I want you to get the whole picture. That day when I got that gig, they asked me, did I want to sing background behind Melba Moore? And that was my first mainstream artist. So I went and did background. Me and Lilo went and did background on one.
Lilo, oh man.
Lilo was supposed to be a part of High Fashion, but they didn't choose him. But they gave him his own record deal on Capitol. So that's
I think he was mad. I think Alyson said something. Why I ain't in it? Okay.
I think he went on and had his own deal and that was that. But at the end of the day, I started with Melba, and I did a lot of stuff with Melba, with Kashif, and then it came into Evelyn Champagne King. I'm on Love. I'm on Love Come Down, and what was the other one?
Stop! You saying some good stuff. We got to slow down a little bit. Hold on, Evelyn Champagne King. You on that record with her?
Love Come Down, and what's the other one?
Not Shame.
Not
I'm in love. I'm in love. I'm in
I'm
love.
in love. That's one. Yeah, love come down and I'm in love. I mean, on both of those. Bobby Brown, Girl Next Door. For Melba, it was You Want It, You Got It, Take My Love, and about 4 or 5 other singles that she had. Who else did I ride on? It's a lot of different people that I actually did session work with. And that was all leading up to me, getting my own deal. As a matter of fact, Russell was putting Def Jam together when High Fashion came together, which was about 82, and I was just excited. I'm a singer. I'm going to Capitol Records, and I'm thinking Nat King Cole and Natalie Cole. I'm thinking singer, and I'm like, Russell, I got to take this opportunity to be on this major label. I know you're coming up with your own label, and I've seen a lot of other smaller boutique labels. They didn't call them boutique back then, but independent labels. But I wanted this so bad, and he was like, "Look, go do what you got to do. We're gonna be building it while you're doing it." And sure enough, that's what happened. By the time High Fashion came up, did its thing, plateaued and dissolved, Def Jam was ready. And Russell used to say, it's going to be the deafest, dopest, most underground label for artists ever. Woo! For real, he'd have his hand in his pocket, he'd be swaying and he'd be talking.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we did. And we went in and we built Def Jam, and we chose the colors, and we had the jackets made and had the logos and stuff. So I'm a cornerstone founding member of that brand.
Wow, you're giving us some good ones.
Yeah. Alyson, you the first female, correct? Like
I was the first female.
Nikki's the first rap female. You was the first R&B female.
I was the first R&B female. Nikki D was our rapper, and I was the first female R&B artist signed to Def Jam. And my male counterparts were Orange Juice Jones, Chuck Stanley, and Tashawn.
Wow.
And,
Wow.
Kyle, you got a question because you seem like
brother.
You gonna go back in the bathroom? You gonna go back in the bathroom? Let us know.
You leave Cal alone.
There you go. You just upset because she's a real singer. You're a harmonizer. She's a singer. There's a difference.
Hey, I don't know if you notice, Alyson, when people talk on the set, sometimes they disappear. and what happens is,
where you go,
Alyson, we don't know what happened to him. We just say, was he talking like above his pay raise? And then he just we don't know, Alyson. But we'll investigate. We'll go back into investigating that. But look,
he had it to you, Cal.
Because on those Saturday afternoons when we got that smell coming from the water, that was Khalil's bathroom window open. So we understand Khalil because things are different since he doesn't have to take the short bus no more. Bleep bleep.
Beep, beep.
Look. We're gonna continue with the interview after this right here. Look, all right. Shut up. Okay, listen. Look. Now look, Alyson. Look. So you born in Harlem, but raised in the Bronx and Harlem, back and forward doing your thing. All right. You got you start finding your way early on and connecting with some great moguls that we call moguls now. Like Russell and Melissa Morgan, Melvin Moore. You shocked me. I'm still getting over all the little rap backgrounds you was doing and hooks and choruses, and even with Evelyn Champagne King, that was like, damn. I love Evelyn Champagne. She's been on our. We interviewed her too. She had a great story. How she moved from the Bronx to Philly. It was interesting. But let me ask you something. So. When did you realize that you had talent? Was it somebody? Now I know your father was a trumpet.
Yeah, my father was a trumpeter and a band leader. He had a 21-piece swing band. My background is jazz. Yeah, my background is jazz, and that's what I came up on. That's what was playing in the house when I came home from the hospital. But I found R&B, and I found gospel, and I found other, the other genres. I think I always felt I was talented. I think I knew I had a gift, but I didn't know how. What I didn't know was how I was going to express my gift. I've been listening to a lot of great people and then having the opportunity to work with them, but I had to find Alyson's voice. So I think what happened was Alyson became a conglomerate of a lot of different things. You know what I'm saying? And then as I matured and had life experiences, I began to find my soul.
Ooh, go ahead, you.
You know what I'm saying? Like I realized at a young age, I like to sing the blues, right? Or they want to, when I started doing nightclubs and I was doing places like Sweetwater's and McHale.
Sweetwater's, yeah.
You have to know a certain kind of repertoire. Not only the top 40, but you have to go back and get some classic stuff. And I realized you can sing the blues, but until you've had your heart broken, you can't really sing them as effectively. You can sing the blues, but until you have that eviction notice on your door, you can't sing them as clearly. So you have to go through some things in order to be able to, put it out there. Even when you're singing songs that have been sung for 1,000 years,
It sounds like what you're saying is just that you can sing those songs, but you really can't channel that pain unless you went through that pain.
You can sing the words, but you can't tell the story. Singing is about storytelling. If you look at some of the best singers or singers that really touch your heart, it's because they know how to tell a story.
Right.
Authentic.
The majority of your songs dealt with your emotions of that moment.
Ask that again.
A lot of your music dealt with the emotions of that moment.
A lot. Well, we were lucky enough to find music that reflected some of the things that I was going into. Yeah, but one thing I know is I never sing and have never sung anything I didn't believe in, or you know what I'm saying, or couldn't relate to. Now the thing with me is this: coming from a jazz background and the theater background, having all of that Broadway stuff, slung at me, because I was a dancer before I really was singing. I came up thinking that for the limited amount of Black people that I could see, I saw they did this. They sang, they danced, they acted. I'm talking about your Lola Falanas, your Sammy Davis Juniors, your Lena Horns. That's what I saw them doing. You know what I'm saying? As a little kid watching these people who were already up on the screen and in my TV.
Triple threats.
Right, triple threats. So I thought that's what I was supposed to do. So I was over at Dance Theater of Harlem, honing my craft. I danced from the time I was about 4 years old till about the time I was in my 20s, professionally.
Wow. You got a lot of layers. A lot of layers to you.
I'm a steeped in the wool Dance Theater Harlem ballerina kind of girl. But I chose traditional Senegalese African dance as my mainstay. So I danced with Chuck Davis. I danced with Forces of Nature. I danced with LaRock Bay back in the day, if y'all old enough to remember that.
Wow.
And Alatunje and all of that. When we used to do the block parties and stuff, and they used to have the African dancing. I've been doing that a long time.
You talking about the Leams?
Huh?
Alatunje, was he with the Leams?
Mm-hmm.
The Leams, yeah, okay.
Now, I'm just saying they were all connected. That family was connected. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Now, speaking of a triple threat, you was also in a play about Phyllis Hyman, correct?
I've done several plays. I've been off Broadway and on Broadway and the circuit. When we had plays that we used to call them gospel plays back in the day when everything was mama fill in the blank. I started out with a gentleman by the name of Mike Matthews, who's the godfather of the urban theater genre. When Tyler came into it, we started calling it urban theater. So out of the different plays that I've done, which I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Cheryl Pepsi Riley, Carl Plain, Nephew Tommy, Thomas Miles, what's Big Boy's name? Oh, he's passed on now. But we were the ones who kind of started in that genre of bringing national recording artists to the stage and traveling around the country. The play you're speaking of was a play with the Whispers. And the play was called Thank God the Beat Goes On. And of course, we know The Beat Goes On was one of his singles. And, Thank God the Beat Goes On, because it had it was a story that told, it was a story told from the eyes of a custodian, a janitor at an Apollo theater anywhere around the country. Any theater and that was a throwback to the shitless circuit, right? And here's the man who been sweeping the floors forever, and he's telling the story of, I remember when the Whispers first started out as kids in talent shows. Now the premise of the show was they were coming back to this theater or some big theater like an Apollo, whatever, to celebrate their 40. At that point, it was 45 years in the industry. That play ran. It's got to be over 20 years ago. So. They're now 50 and 55 years into the Whispers are in the industry. But that was the story. And because they had a wonderful true life relationship with Phyllis as a friend, as well as, on the business and the personal side. Back in the day, if you had a bill with Phyllis Hyman and the Whispers, you was going to see a show.
That's right.
You was going to see a show. You was getting that ticket, putting on your glad rags and hitting it. You were going to see a show. So they had that relationship. And so they wanted to show that relationship. And unfortunately, she had just come to her transition. And they asked me to come in and play her. And the funny thing is that I was with Phyllis the week all of that went down. They called me to replace Phyllis at the Apollo when the suicide happened, but I didn't know what had happened because I wasn't living in New York at the time. I was on my way to the first Essence Fest, and I had been in New York, and they had seen me at the Apollo. I had gone by to say hi because that's where I would always stop by when I came to town because I knew I could find everybody there. I could find Ray, I could find the band, I could get all my information. What's going on? Go to the Apollo for Wednesday night. So I had been there, and it must have been that Thursday or Friday. I flew out. And I tried to get, and they tried to get me, and I was on my layover, and someone called and said, listen, Phyllis was supposed to be here tonight with the Whispers, but it doesn't look like she's going to make it. We want to know if you can make it. I said, oh, man, y'all, I just left New York. I'm in the airport, blah, blah, blah. And I could hear people in the background going, just hang up. Don't say anything. Just hang up. Now, hindsight going back, she had died, and I didn't know.
Wow.
But the week before that, we were all in Washington. Phyllis Hyman, Alyson Williams, Nancy Wilson had separate shows in Washington, but came together on Father's Day to have brunch. And Phyllis had been very despondent the whole week. A couple of times the promoters didn't know if she was going to make the show. She said weird things to me, like, don't worry about getting anything for me for my birthday because I'm not going to be here. She's, that's where she was. But Phyllis can go into deep depressions like this. So a week later, she went on and finished her mission. A year to that week, the Whispers called me and asked me to be in this play.
Wow, damn.
So it was almost like, preordained that I would do this. You know what I'm saying? That I would be there to tell her story and to keep her legacy alive through her music.
And it's crazy. You definitely you filled that bill because you sound a lot like Phyllis Hyman. You got the tone.
Yeah, people have compared me to Phyllis since I've come on the scene because she was there first and she had this very statuesque thing that she was doing with the hats and the blah 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 blah. So I could see that, and she was in right. There's very few singers that come right in the middle of the jazz and the R&B and do it. Right. So, and she was a friend and she was a mentor and she sat me down and told me how to avoid a lot of the pitfalls that she had fallen into. And, she showed me the do and the don't column. And so I'll always be thankful to her. I'll tell you a couple of great stories. Phyllis would get really, she could cuss really good. And she would get finished with a designer, and she'd call me and she'd say, "Hello, Alyson, this is Phyllis Hyman, and I want you to blah 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 blah." And after we got into the conversation, then she said, "Now listen, I want you to come down to the apartment. I got this so and so. Let's say Paul Small. He was making clothes for me, and I'm done with that MF and blah blah blah." Oh, MF was her best go-to word. And she really, and she would come. She was done with him, and she didn't want the clothes hanging in her closet anymore. So I would go down, and we'd play dress up for the whole day, and she put the clothes on me, and she said, "Here, these shoes go with that, and you might as well have these earrings too." And and we would do that, and that's just who she was. And those are the times we would bond and what have you. And then other times she'd be real. I remember coming out of we were coming out of someone who came to town, and me and a dear friend who was managing her or assisting her in some way at some time. We all went shopping with her, and she was coming out of Bergdorf in some high-end store, and this white woman walked up to her and said, she was dripping in furs. We're getting in a limo. Excuse me, but do you know how many animals had to die for you to have that coat? And she turned around and looked at the lady and said, do you know how many animals I had to sleep with to get this coat? Never miss a beat.
Wow.
That's
Shout out to Tracy.
Wow.
Hey, let me. It's this is good.
That's crazy.
Now when I asked you earlier, like when you started, on your path as as a singer. Period. Like I know it was a lot of like some jazz artists, but who's the one that was like near and dear to you that like you like? I'm talking about who was that artist that you would say that really kind of help you see yourself being an artist. You know what I mean?
Okay, so I have to break it down. I have a problem. I don't know if there's a medical term for it, but I can never pick one thing. So I have to break it down to you. In jazz, it was Ella Fitzgerald and Dakota Staton. Those were the two main go-to girls when I was trying to figure that out. In the pop sector, I was right in there with Dionne Warwick and Barbra Streisand. Those were my two pop women.
Barbra Streisand is the truth. Y'all better recognize that. Y'all better really recognize that.
And as a kid, I just take it all the way back for you. When I was watching my good MGM musicals, I was a Judy Garland fan. So just to throw that in there. So this is who was available. Okay, check it out. When it came to R&B, I came into Shaka Khan real hard. I just slammed straight in his face like I was like, I was like, bam. So I'm a Shakaholic, and Phyllis Hyman was that place in between where it was R&B enough, but still jazzy. Now I found gospel later on in life because I was raised Catholic, but they brought me to Vanessa Bell Armstrong and Kim Burrell, and those girls were like singing and doing things.
Ooh, that Kim Burrell boy, she be like just scaling it out. Like, why are we talking about that? Let me ask, what's your thoughts of that? Because at different phases in music, you had more people with their different passion. They would hold a note real long, and then then you get to you got the gospel reflections and stuff like that, but it's a lot of right now, a lot of like just scale bending and a lot of tricks going on. What do you think about that right now?
For
like singing, telling the story.
Let me just finish my thought on my gospel end. When they introduced me to Kim Burrell or what do you call Vanessa Bell Armstrong, I appreciated what they did, and it was my intro into coming up. There was gospel in the house, but it was all Shirley Caesar and maybe Mahalia Jackson. So now I'm listening to what's supposed to be the new track, just post Clark Sister. That's what I got. But then I had to hear Yolanda Adams to realize that I didn't have to sound like Vanessa. I wanted to be gospel. I was in these plays and with all these amazing talents, and I wanted to be able to emulate some of that for myself. But I didn't come from that, so I didn't know those chord changes. I wasn't in church on Wednesday and Saturday and Sunday and Monday. Didn't have the steeped in the wool thing that some of these people can bring from wherever they come, whether they're Baptist, whether they're Church of God in Christ, whether all those different kinds of things. I didn't know that, but when I heard Yolanda, she had a way of she could bring all of that drama. She still had another thing that was more straight ahead and even adult contemporary. You know what I'm saying? So it made me know that my testimony could still be told, and I didn't have to sound like a true gospel singer that we are accustomed to seeing. Now, to answer your question about what I hear right now, I do hear a lot of vocal acrobatics. and what have you. And some of it is good, and it all has its place. But if you're not a consummate storyteller, I don't care how many notes you got. And I'm taken aback when I hear singers that have a lot of this going on, but God forbid your in-ear goes out. And we saw a great example of this back on the BET Awards. You don't know what to do if auto-tunes is not following you. You don't know if there's not an effect on you. You've never sung in the middle of the floor and just sung out into the air. You don't know what your voice is. You have to know what your voice is. Because technology is going to fail. What happens if the monitor goes out? I'm talking about the wedge. You know what I'm saying? At the top, the in-ears, that's a whole nother nation that you got to learn how to adjust to. But if you've never sung straight up and just sung a cappella and don't know your voice, when that stuff goes away, it's going to throw you.
Woo!
And I'm going to tell you something, it's going to throw anybody. It's going to throw the most consummate performer. The point is how quickly you recover. You got to be able to know that's not working. And where am I at? Hey, where's the note in the air? Okay, now I got me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You're not supposed to fall off and be done for 5 minutes because you can't hit you.
Yeah. And I got to say, first of all, Yolanda Adams is definitely my favorite gospel singer. You know, I agree. She's one of my favorites. And I Alyson, I thought Anita Baker would probably be one of your influences. Anita Baker
was good, but Anita Baker is more of a song stylist to me. I encountered Anita Baker years before we knew who she was because I had an extended family in Detroit. And I used to go to Detroit on the summers and for my mother and father had a best friend in common. They both had Clara was both of their best friends. Like, you know, my mother's good Judy girlfriend and my father's cut buddy. Do you know what I'm saying? And so she had family from Detroit. And one year she took me and my mom with her to a family reunion, and it was over. From that point on, they adopted us, and I had family in Detroit. Now, these young people, while I was with my father with the big band doing all that stuff with some of the best jazz greats of the century, I didn't have a lot going on in terms of I was just learning about, you know, the R&B music, and I didn't have a track to it. I had a track to Clark Terry and Dizzy Gillespie. I didn't have a track to what was happening in my local streets, let's say, young band. But my cousins in Detroit, they were part of Parliament Funkadelic, the Brides of Funkenstein, Brain. Yeah, they were doing that. They were doing that. They had bands that they were running like professional businesses. They had gigs every weekend. Somebody could sew, somebody could do hair. So they had costumes. They were in. When I went to Detroit, I was like, are you serious? This is what's going on. So I got a different taste of what that was. And so, you know, it just, like I said, I'm like the Forrest Gump of what I do. I've been so many places. You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask, not to cut you off, for our listeners out there, when you said Anita Baker is more a stylist, give them an example what you mean by that.
Okay, so like I was saying, Anita Baker was already singing locally in Detroit, you know, doing her thing. How can I put it? For me, and this is my personal opinion, I like the way she sings, but it is Anita. Do you understand what I'm saying? It is specific. She is specifically one thing. It's nothing wrong with that, but she is specifically one thing.
Right. You talk about
like she's not versatile or do other. She's like in one box.
I prefer her vocal in an adult contemporary smooth jazz / R&B type of thing. I don't see her singing straight ahead jazz. I don't see her. No, let me put it like this: when she sings straight ahead jazz, she still sounds like she's singing contemporary R&B. I've never really heard her to sing gospel, but I'm sure it would sound like what. Yeah, I just don't see a lot of wiggle room in there. But I think she's good. I remember when she was doing at the height of her career, and I was doing something with a musical director, and he had me singing a song, and I had taken to somehow doing those little at the end of the notes, like you know how she would sing, and no one in the world could love me, no one in the world, and she had those little things she would do, and I had started kind of emulating those things, and he was like, take that affected singing somewhere else, miss me with that.
Ooh.
Because what the guy was trying to tell me is that the natural, I just want you to sing these notes, sing these lyrics, and let's do it. We don't have a room for that here. And then that's when I realized that, yeah, okay, less is more. Okay, I got it. I wasn't mad. I wasn't embarrassed. He didn't hurt my feelings. He just told me all those grunts and groans that's affected singing. I don't need that. Please take that out. And then we just started from the top and went on whatever we were doing.
Now, one of your biggest hits, "Just Call My Name." You first recorded that. The listen back, the playback. When you first in the studio, mixed down. You're in the studio listening. In your head, right there, it says, "Did you feel that was going to be a big hit record?"
Okay, so you want the whole story?
Yeah, I want the whole story.
Okay.
That's one of my favorite songs of all time.
So one day, you have to understand, Def Jam didn't have a lot of people that understood R&B from the root. Russell had some wonderful, talented people who had their finger on the pulse of what was going on in the street, but they were you know what I'm saying? They couldn't always find some songs for me because they didn't know what do we do with an adult female singer. I was a whole grown woman when I showed up. You know what I'm saying? So I had to sing music that made sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I had to sing music. I had to sing music that sounded like if I was speaking to you, I was speaking from a whole grown woman. You a man we try to figure each other out. I couldn't be on a tip because I don't tip. I'm not her.
Yeah.
That's Kyle. Kyle does that a lot.
You know what? Leave Kyle alone.
No, I'm just saying. Kyle's crying. Stop crying, Kyle. Just joking, crowd.
No.
I love her.
Don't even listen to Khalil. He's tight because you expose, like how you said the woman would give you clothes. That's like him and RuPaul. They stay close.
All right,
So, you know,
I'm gonna let you finish, Alyson, before
he
disappears.
So one day, a friend of mine comes to me and says, "But the whole point is that I'm the artist, but I'm the A&R. I'm on the A&R tip too." And just let me backtrack a little bit. When I first came to the label, Juice, Chuck Stanley, and Tayshaun were already signed, so I had to wait. I thought I was gonna be but I had to wait, and there was nothing to do. So you know, I helped in the office. I was giving advice to Flavor Flav. I was telling EPMD, we smile when we come in because they were coming in mean mugging, you know, going back in the old like, God dang, if you don't say good morning, it's gonna be a problem. So I had to take them all and make them the softer side of Sears because they were going, y'all was gonna come on now. I know where y'all come from, but while we in here, we have a little sanctuary. Y'all get ready to blow up. Be happy, smile.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So anyway, while I was waiting, I made myself a road manager for Juice because his record, you know, blew up. So I had a duet with him as well. So we would go on the road. We had a bus. We did the whole thing. I was road manager, and I had a Halliburton's briefcase, and I would go and I would pick up the money and then get the group on stage, and then I would take my handcuffs and I would handcuff my money to the monitor board on the side of the stage, and I'd go out and sing the duet with Juice. And then come back and get the money. Then they do 2 more songs, and I get them.
God damn.
So all of that prepared me for doing my own A&R because I knew they couldn't always find songs for me because they were looking to try to put me. I guess they would have been maybe if they had to find Mary J songs or something like that. You know what I'm saying? That kind of thing. Right. But that's not who I was. One day, a friend of mine comes to me and says, "I'm going across country. You want to go?" He had a convertible Beetle, a Volkswagen. I said, "Of course." So we got in the convertible Volkswagen and trekked it from New York. I'll never forget. I left from 110th Street all the way to the Pacific Ocean, in the meantime, a friend of mine named Denzel Miller, and Denzel was a great writer and arranger. He had become the darling of Broadway, and he was playing all the shows, and he just was getting his thing together. And they wanted him out in L.A. The label started courting him, so Denzel was out in Los Angeles, and he's like, Alyson, I want to introduce you to people. I want to have dinner with you, and blah blah. But I'm stuck in the studio every day because I am the quote unquote writer du jour. I'm the producer du jour. I'm the I'll Be Sure. I'm the this one. I'm the that one. And they got me in the studio making songs for various artists across the board. He said, just come to the studio. We'll hang out. So I go to the studio, and on that day, they were working on Just Call My Name. So while I'm in the green room playing Pong and Space Invaders and Miss Pac-Man, just to take you back. And I'm hearing this song, and they got this brother in there. His name is Philip Ingram. He was with the group Switch. His brother is James Ingram.
James Ingram. Yeah,
and he's one of the most sought after studio session singers. And so they're in there putting Just Call My Name together, layering those vocals. Da da da. The end of the day comes. It's like, Alyson, come on, we're gonna go to dinner. Boom, boom, boom. He said, before you go, I need you to go in the studio and put a female lead on this song. He said, I know you know it because you've been listening to it all day. Just go and sing a female lead. So I went and said, I knew the song was mine the whole day. I knew the song was mine the whole day while I was working the joystick. I knew. I'm like, how am I going to get Russell to get this song? I need this song. So I go in and I lay down the vocal. Everybody gets real quiet in the booth, though. Nobody say nothing after I get to the end. And he clicks the button. He says, he's on the top. He says, Alyson. I said, yes. He said, are you in love? I said, no. He said, is there somebody in your heart or somebody that you want to get with, or, you know, that you have some feelings for or whatever? I said, no. He said, well, how did you know that song was supposed to be sung like that? And I told him, I said, oh, I know how it's supposed to be sung because this is my song. This is my song. You're from Queens. Russell's from Queens. I know y'all know each other. I don't know what phone call has to be made. I don't really know what has to be done at this point. But this song that was supposed to go on a back in the day on a cassette that somebody at a record label was going to give to anybody. We don't know who this song could have been. This song could have been Patty Austin's song. This song could have been we don't know. But I knew it was mine. And I told him, I said, that's how I know how to sing it, because I knew this is my song. And he's like, you might be right. He said, I don't know what I got to do, but we'll figure it out. And that's how we got Just Call My Name. Because I went to California. Because I went to California in a Volkswagen and found that song. Now, I sang it one time. We got it back to New York. They brought Denzel back to New York. It's all live musicians on that track. It's nothing but live. That's why it's timeless, and it makes you feel the way it does, because it's live music.
Oh, stop right there. Stop, Steve. Say that again, because it's live. It sounds timeless, right?
It's timeless because it's live music, and live music washes over the human spirit in a way that you don't even know it's happening, and it's happening. When it's live, you know what I'm saying? It just makes you feel a certain way, and that's the job of music, and that's the job of an entertainer, is to make someone feel. It needs to touch your heart, whether it makes you laugh or cry or reminisce or whatever. It is a feeling, and so
that's why Frankie Beverly's like that. That's what I'm saying. That's like Frankie Beverly. His stuff is always, he had a live. That's why you got that feel.
It's feeling. It's a feeling. It's a feeling.
The thing is, when you sing it from your soul, it becomes timeless.
It is. And so let me just take you to the other part of the journey of Just Call My Name before it got released. Okay, so we get the song, we get it back to New York. He gets all the great live musicians, and who's on there? Oh God, don't get me to try. I know Najee played sax on it. I know and I got a new song with him, so I got to come back.
I know. I was about to ask you about that.
It's the journey. You got to. So we get it back to New York. We go in the studio. We sing it one more time. We get it down. And they're like, Alyson, it's perfect. You need to leave it alone because I'm tweaking into it. I'm a real stickler. I'm a perfectionist. Okay, we leave. We leave the studio about 3 or 4 in the morning. And you know the studio is always dark, no windows. You don't know what time it is, but I'm a nighttime singer. So coming out in the daytime is normal for me. About 2 hours after I get home, I get a call from the studio. We need to find Russell. I said, well, you can't find him here. He lives around the corner from the studio. I'm up, in the Bronx. What's wrong? Nothing. And then finally told me, said, the intern that was working with engineer.
You better not say what I think you're gonna say. I'm gonna go to the bathroom and take a shit. Don't say I'll go to the bathroom right now.
Accidentally erased the first.
Oh, look.
Now,
right now, we're gonna take. We gotta take a pause. We gotta take a pause for this because this is no intern. I know you done made a lot of big things now, but this is for. Go ahead, Alyson. I'm sorry, I had to let that out. Go ahead.
Accidentally erased the track, the first verse. Now, mind you, this is all analog at this time. We did hand claps by hand back in the day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So Denzel's on a plane. He gets on a plane that morning and is headed back to LA. Everybody's going wherever they live, upstate, Queens, wherever they going. So now we're going to have to get him back in to at least him back in to about Splice or whatever. And they're 38 hot mad. Leo's mad. They think it's him trying. They done made him out to be the bad guy. It wasn't his fault. It was an accident. Something happened. So I sang Just Call My Name. The first time I heard it, I sang Just Call My Name when my session was scheduled, and then I sang Just Call My Name, just the first verse, and then just 3 times that's the only 3 times that we did the pass, and we matched it. That was the problem. We wanted to make sure we could match it, and we matched it. Now we have the acetate. Y'all don't know what an acetate is.
Yeah, I know exactly.
It's the test press. It's the test press that you used to get once you did the record, and it looks like an album, but it was a little heavier because it was made of acetate. And we took the acetate up to Vaughn Harper. Around this time, it was in November, when you have what you call the playlist freeze. And if you're not Santa Baby or Nat King Cole, you're not getting on the playlist because it's Thanksgiving and they play a certain amount of music between Thanksgiving and Christmas, unless you got cash. You know what I'm saying? They're playing the classics and people who have the cash. So we take it up to Vaughn and he won't give it back. So Vaughn is playing Just Call My Name in full rotation on his show. And people are going to the store because Black people buy records at Christmas time. And they're going, do you have this song that goes, Just Call My, and the people at the record store, let's just sidebar that we used to have record stores. Stores totally dedicated to records.
Yeah.
And I want your listeners and viewers to know that Walmart and Target are not record stores. They are stores that happen to sell music. We had real record stores. We had big ones. We had mom and pop ones. You could buy your incense in there, your posters, your records. You could get your numbers papers to play your numbers, your dream books. You could get all of that. You could buy easy white rolling paper, all of that.
Hey, okay, good.
You know what you could do in the record store?
Hey, listen.
So
what happened?
1989, between December and November. Finally, the record breaks and comes out in January of 90, 89, 90. And that's the story of Just Call My Name.
Oh my God.
Vaughn Harper broke the record. He played it so hard till people thought it was out. And by the time I came out, they was like, "Oh, you covered that song, Just Call My Name." Hell, I didn't cover it. I made it.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes. So when you went on tour with the record, how was that? Singing your record, going across the world, singing your record, and the people, singing it and knowing the words to it. I'm talking about people from deep down in there, call my name. I mean way deep down in there. like Kyle. Kyle got a lot of cousins.
Let me tell you what happened. Yeah. By the time Just Call My Name broke, we were also getting a major traction overseas from Sleep Talk and My Lover's Raw, which was the club stuff, the New Jack Swing stuff. Just Call My Name came and changed the game for us, but we still had to address that. So not let you know that I couldn't address the US part because the UK stuff and the European stuff was taking off so hot. It was me, the kids from Fame, and Shalimar, Will Downing, and we were the stars over. I mean, you go to Europe, and that's all they wanted. They wanted Will Downing, they wanted Alyson Williams, they wanted Shalimar, and they wanted the kids from Fame. And anybody else, everything else was legacy and vintage behind that. I sold out in the West End, and Diana Ross was across town, not sold out. I was on every television. I was a star. When I got my gold record for my album Raw, it wasn't from Sony America. It was from Sony UK. I sold my 500,000 over there first. It's a big star, like rock the limo, show up at the gig, rock the limo kind of star. Like people outside there, they're like, like that.
Wow.
We did a show one time and we couldn't get out the back door. They had to wrap me in a rug. I had to lay on the front and wrap me in a rug and take me out in a rug.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was amazing. I'll never forget the president of Sony Records. We were doing a party and everybody who was over there was there. Soul to Soul people were there. The Jacksons were there. All the different ones. What's the ones that the two guys they found that they couldn't sing for real?
Milli Vanilli.
Girl,
yeah. So everybody was over across the pond for whatever they were doing, whether they lived there or not. Misha Paris, all of them were at the party. And we were sitting there. It was me and Will. And the man leaned over, the president. He says, it's as if they've all come to kiss your ring. Now, the only people who get their ring kiss is Queen of England, the royals. But everybody was just so enamored. We were riding on such a big crest. And so it was great. I ended up living over there for about 6 or 7 months because I couldn't go home. We had to shoot videos over there. We had to figure out how to make the videos look hip hop and look like have the same aggressiveness and the same, Bronx for real, like at the Fever look, especially for what was that? I think My Love Is So Raw. But we were dealing with the UK kids and where they were at, and they were in a different place at that time. So we had to really work to find, producers and stylists and stuff that could give us what we needed. So I just had to stay there and live there and be Alyson Williams and go from there to Amsterdam and to Belgium and to Germany. And it was incredible. And like I said, I had an apartment in London. When I finally came back, I had to play catch up with all the US stuff. So for instance, when I went to do a Showtime at the Apollo, they only wanted me to do one song. And I was like, I had a new single, but I was like, I got to do Just Call My Name because that's what people are going to gravitate to. The new single is just dropping. So I had to fight to do that. When I went to Soul Train, I had to come out the dressing room. They would get ready to make me do one song. And I went to Don Cornelius. I said, Mr. Cornelius, you have to understand something. I've been overseas promoting. And so I know I should have been here before, but I couldn't come when y'all first scheduled me. But I got to do 2 songs because I got a new single, but I got to do Just Call My Name. Plus, I told my mother I was doing 2 songs. Don Cornelius looked at me and he said, wait right here. And he walked off and one day he came back and said, Miss Williams, you have your 2 songs. Did you bring your other music? I said yes, because they was gonna make me just do one song and keep it moving. You know what I mean? Because I had canceled the first time, so there was a lot of politics and a lot of things that I had to fight for. Once I came back to the States and to hear my music on the radio and to, but any quiet storm format across the country embraced it and still plays it today. So to answer your question, it was Just Call My Name did a lot.
Hold up, I got a question about the new song with you and Najee. But if I don't post this, Cedar is gonna say if I come to Brooklyn, she's gonna stab me. So let me just play this real quick. Put this up there. Cedar, this is a Spike joint. Cedar works with Spike Lee. If y'all didn't know that, she worked with Spike Lee for years, and she wanted me to post this pop-up stoop sale, out in Brooklyn. Cedar, I got it. I'm popping it up. If you're in Brooklyn, August 6th, come on through and check that out. Now,
is that my Cedar B? Is that my
Cedar B? Yeah, exactly. She got the little shoes, the little doll shoes. Because he said, Kyla, I need some shoes. I said, you need some shoes?
Small piece of leather well put together.
Small piece of leather well put together. I like that. But I went to, she told me she needs some shoes. I went to Toys R Us. I seen little big doll, took the shoes off. And Cedar, you know, I didn't. She said she texted me, "Don't say that on air." I'm sorry, Cedar, but
She got
look,
little
English,
tiny, not. She got. I call them sample feet. When you go to the
Yeah,
shop, she said, "Do you have to match to this?" That's the size she is.
but tell us about the Najee and because I seen it on the Urban Influence chart. It was like number 2 up there, but Melissa was one, and you was right behind it. You know?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this. Right in the middle of the pandemic, you know, like I said, Najee, we go way back. I was asked to come in and do this cover. The first song that Norman Connors produced was with a man that we just lost, Michael Henderson,
Norman
who wrote
Connors.
a song called Valentine Love. And it was Michael Henderson and Gene Carn. And so Najee wanted to do it, you know, as a saxophone with a vocal. So I went in the studio and did it. And then we had COVID and we sat home and we waited and we waited. And so this was the time that his label decided to release the CD. Now, this was just supposed to be like many of an instrumentalist will put a vocal on their album. You're glad to be on the album. You're featured on the album. But the streets got to talking, and the on-air radio personalities started making their choices, and they started playing not only his, you know, new. Hold on, go away. They started. That was my phone. I should have turned it down. I forgot. They started playing not only his instrumental offerings that the label, you know, was sending out, but they started playing this Valentine Love, and they decided they liked it. Now, London went on and decided that was going to be their single. That's why you saw us so high on the charts. So, in his, you know, he's just an intelligent, well-groomed musician, or businessman as well. He called me up. Najee called me and said, "Listen, you need to come out on the road and do some of these dates with me because I have a tour going. I can't offer you all of them, but we need to take advantage and do our own due diligence for this song as independent artists because we can plant some seeds for next year, whereas we'll have a package and we can sell it as a package." Alyson Williams and Najee to the promoters, and he says, "I believe it'll go." So, you know, we've been doing the dates. I've done dates with him in Take 6. Him and he and Peebo Bryson. This weekend we're gonna be with Will Downing. Then we have some other dates coming up in August, September, and November. So we're trying to do, you know, what we know how to do on the business end to bolster this song, which is taking on a life of its own. So everybody can get it on all platforms. The CD is called Savoir Faire. The single, my single that I'm featured on is called Valentine Love, but you're gonna love the album because it's just so well. It's just a real song. Now I'm not just saying it because it's Najee and I'm on it. I'm saying it because it's a real solid album. If you like Smooth Jazz, you're gonna love this album. And we're looking for big things to happen out of it. I'm excited to have new music, and I have a follow-up that I'm trying to get prepared so I can have something, you know, under my own name to go ahead and follow it up. So
let me say something. I forgot. The person just texted me. They're watching. It's an artist we work with. He's an older artist. His name is Bird Presley. He did years ago. He did like a rebuttal to "You Just Call My Name." He did. It's dope. Now, matter of fact, if you go on the Urban Influence charts, you're gonna see he's number like 20 something on there right now with his new song called "Feeling Your Love." He's on the charts right now. But he wants to do that song with you, and I think it'd be a good deal because he's going to market and promote it. He wants to do the song with you, like you and him do, like a kind of do it.
Figure out a way to connect us. I'm easy to find.
It's only one person blocking it. Is the guy with the glasses, Kyle, up there from Queens.
Oh no!
So I'm gonna get rid. Oh, he can't block it now. I got rid of him. So what I wanted to say now, we can really make this happen now, since he's not in the picture right now.
Why y'all so hard on him? What did he do?
We love Kyle. We love him.
No.
Because I've exposed his bathroom antics.
Oh,
no. What it is. Kyle's from Queens. He grew up with Russell and all around in the area over there. But he was the one. You heard of the little rapper called 6ix9ine?
Oh, here you go.
You see the rapper 6ix9ine?
Tekashi 6ix9ine, the guy.
Tekashi 6ix9ine. Remember the little guy that was snitching on everybody?
Different color, rainbow hair rapper.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kyle. I'm just going to summarize because I know we got to wrap the show up. Kyle what happened was it was a senior citizen lady. Her name was Barbara Denton. Kyle was responsible for pushing her in the snow. She got frostbite, and he lied on the little boy, and he snitched on somebody else. So that's why in the hood, we joke with him, but nah, I'm messing with you. Now listen.
Hey, Alyson.
Thank you, sister. Thank you, sister Alyson.
Hey, Alyson. One last question before we leave, because we about to leave. It's 11 o'clock. That's it. Do you feel that the people in Europe accept better than USA?
I just think that I can tell you that the fan base in Europe is more enduring, and I think because they long for what we have. You know what I'm saying? Like what we have that we take for granted. Like we got Motown, and we got we have so many great genres of so many different eras of music that we, especially as Black people, that we not only created, but we innovated, and we take it for granted. In other words, we lay back on it. We give it a little bit. We don't give it half as much support as we should. You know what I'm saying? But over there, they have to try to emulate what we do. So they read the album. When we used to have albums or in CDs, they read the credits. They know who the musicians are. They cross-pollinate and see, oh, this one played with that one. They show up to the shows
right.
with the whole collection.
They know, yeah.
Yep. And they want to know. They want your autograph. They want to know how so and so is doing. And I saw such and such and such. Is this one still performing? They're just more endearing, and they are loyal to a fault. Over in Europe in general, Asia, Europe, all across
Japan.
continent.
Yes, wow, that's
and when
great.
and like I said, we take it more for granted because we have such an abundance of the good stuff here, and we are where we manufacture it, so we kind of treat it like but we're gonna have to get with it because we can let some wonderful things die if we're not more proactive in how we keep it alive. I have a question for you guys. I noticed that I've been seeing different people pop in. Who are those people and what are they saying? I want to say hi to the listeners.
They've been giving you love the whole time, man. They just
tell them I feel it. I just want to know.
No, man, they look.
And look, without these, I can't see a damn thing. So I've enjoyed this. Everybody had a great day. Okay, I see that.
Oh man, this is all. This is like it's just another great interview in the books.
Thank you, Tamelia. Who's that person? I missed the last one.
Hold on, let me see. Hold on a second. Let me see.
The one with she had something orange on. Someone had something
orange on.
That was
just before Tamelia.
Right here, look. We love you, Alyson. Yeah, she said we love you, Alyson. But to me, I mean, I've been hitting them. I've been hitting it all day. I've been hitting it like every time you talk, it's problem because they just they one thing they were saying because you get the guy Kyle off, but they was just everything else. They was just like we love just get the guy Kyle off. Listen, look.
Sister Alyson, we'll ignore the big squarehead dude in the corner. I wanted to thank you because your chorus. Because I'm a graduate of Andrew Jackson High School. And your simple chorus motivated that whole class from 1983 to forever. Just those two words, AJ. Just hearing you sing that.
AJ.
AJ.
That's what it is.
There you go.
Listen, the arresting officer for Kyle, when that record was out, he just texted me. He said, luckily, he wasn't smart enough to sell oregano. Now, I can't even read what he said. But anyway, look, we got to wrap it up right now.
Hey, Alyson,
appreciate you, Ma.
Thank you, sis. Thank you.
Gentlemen, it has been
God
my
bless
pleasure
you.
to be here. I'm so glad I did this. I wouldn't have done it, but wanted to do it any other way. You've given me energy to get through the rest of the day because I don't have but a day off. And then I got to go and get on a plane tomorrow. Hi there. Hi, Cece. Thank you for everything. Thank you for allowing me to tell my story. There's so much more. I want to come back and give you some more insight and great, little behind the scenes stuff. It'll be great.
Yeah.
That person is live from South Africa.
All
You hear
right
me?
now.
Yeah, she's live from
You're
South
welcome.
Africa.
You're
She
welcome.
said,
South Africa.
Unity bull, yay. Peace.
she also said, please don't have Kyle on the next one. All right, we take that in, caller.
All right. Hey, Alyson, it's love you, sis. You stay blessed and
Nothing
keep
but
doing what you're
love,
doing, all right?
fellas. So y'all
All right.
listen, tell
Much
everybody
love to
to
you.
go to Facebook, Alyson Williams Music on Facebook, Alyson Williams Music on Instagram, Alyson Williams on Twitter. And just look it up. The dates are all listed. I post them. You can come and see me. Come and see me and Najee, and it'll be great.
All right, listen, y'all. Make sure y'all support our sister. Go out there, go to her Instagram, her Facebook, or Twitter. Everybody support her. And if you're in that area, come out there and support her show. And we all agree your voice is pure. The greatest love song were yours in the world.
Thank you.
Yeah, what happened to the thing? Robin, what happened, Robin? Oh, okay.
There she is.
In the world, beautiful personality and still beautiful. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
Well, Alyson, we're going to wrap it up. They don't want us to leave, but we got to wrap it up. I'm sorry, y'all. We got to go. We would stay longer if Kyle wasn't on here. But anyway, thank y'all for having a.
He's only saying that because he got to go to the bathroom.
That's not
It's
true, Alice.
past his slot.
Alice, because look, soon as you leave, this is what he's going to do. So we got to go, Alyson. We're going to wrap it up for the day, all right?
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Peace.
Yo, peace. Peace
Peace
now.
and love.